So we are here in Istanbul today for the steering committee of the MedJam network, as the network is exploring the advancements in renewable energy and green hydrogen development in the Mediterranean region. I have the pleasure to welcome and to speak with Mr. Hadi Abou Moussa and Ms. Reem Irany, who supported in the development of Lebanon's hydrogen strategy. Hadi, regarding the strategy, can you elaborate a little on some key findings, especially in what is in relation to the country's potential in production and local use?
Thank you, Toufic. We are very glad to be here with you today. Indeed, we developed, thanks to the MedJam project, a strategy for Lebanon, a preliminary strategy for the green hydrogen development, where the main focus was to assess our potential in producing hydrogen and consuming it, whether locally or through exporting this technology. So the study was completed recently, and we managed to identify 3 areas of main importance where hydrogen could be used for electricity generation in certain power plants in Lebanon. Also, it can be used in the industrial processes as a heat component to replace the fossil fuel needed for heat in these industries, especially that Lebanon is a country that still rely on importing fossil fuels, and this way we can reduce our dependency on this factor. And the last but not least was the production of green ammonia, which is essential for the fertilizers market and Lebanon, especially that we have a developed agricultural market. Such product could be a solution for or let's say catalyzer for this market, and it can improve this sector in a good way. And also it can be used for export at a later stage through the Arab countries neighboring Lebanon. So these are the 3 main areas in the study. Of course, we identified other aspects, especially the challenges. And when it comes to the potential production factors, we are a country abundant in renewable energy sources. And when it comes to the water access, we have different sources of water, especially that our coast is on the Mediterranean Sea. This part, the desalination of water, of seawater, could be assessed at a later stage, but the study focused also on the fresh water from the rivers, and the third source was the recycled water, or the water that can be used from wastewater treatment plants.
Thank you, Hadi. So moving on to the challenges, as you said, there are challenges. Reem, what do you believe are the main challenges that the country will face in implementing this roadmap and scaling it up in the upcoming years?
Okay. Thank you so much, Toufic. So regarding the challenges, definitely we'll be talking about multiple ones, but I'll be focusing now on 3 main challenges. The first one is more related to the infrastructure creation corresponding to hydrogen production. Mainly here we're talking about the transport, for example, of hydrogen, or even the storage. Definitely we're talking about high costs, we're talking about financing, and we're talking about skills. So specifically regarding financing, we can here tackle large-scale projects. So the challenge is related to the risks associated to those projects and whether they're appealing enough to investors worldwide. And the second one is related to the availability of financing mechanisms for smaller projects related to industrial processes, for example, the use of hydrogen for heat generation in industrial processes. So this could be also one of the challenges. Besides the skills that might need to be introduced and probably improved for financial institutions working on similar projects, just to let them know, what we're missing out there in terms of viability of such projects. And when talking about skills, we can also mention here probably the room to introduce more courses, more projects, and more research at the university level for students in order to get to know more about, hydrogen feasibility and potential in the country, and probably help in future development of similar initiatives.
Thank you, Reem. If I could summarize, mainly we have several challenges in the country, but the two main ones that you mentioned are financial and technical. How do you feel international partners and initiatives, especially like MedJam, what could we as a network do to help Lebanon in overcoming these barriers, mainly the financial and technical ones?
Okay. So I see MedJam as a network of networks, as we always mention, and I see that it's very much demand driven. So depending of what each country, for example, needs, I see that MedJam is providing the right assistance in doing so through the different partners in this partnership and network. This could be, for example, related to exchanges at the government level, so we can learn from the success stories of other countries, for example, or the lessons learned. Also, we can, for example, participate in capacity building activities through different trainings with, partners within the network, depending on what we really need and who is the targeted audience in each of the foreseen initiatives or actions.
So in the network, we have, one of our activities now that is hot and we will be working heavily on in the upcoming semester is the finance component, where we will be doing consultation workshops to identify stakeholders, map them, and consult with them, see what their concerns are, and then address these challenges. Knowing the economic crisis we have in the country, maybe we have a problem in finding frameworks for these investments. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on that? Maybe there is a way that we can support in that.
As MedJam, you mean? Yeah. So what you mentioned, Toufic, regarding the mapping of stakeholders, for example, is very important for Lebanon. As I mentioned earlier, we have this challenge related to financing, right? And you mentioned that one of the services of MedJam is to map stakeholders together in a way to find who can, support us in similar projects, specifically on the aspect related to finance. So one, identification of stakeholders. Two, it could be also identification of suitable financing mechanisms for different applications in Lebanon, whether we're talking about smaller projects or also sometimes larger pilot or, other projects as well.
Thank you, Reem. I would like to talk about one more activity that MedJam has implemented recently, which is the Green Hydrogen Hackathon, where university students competed and came up with insightful ideas related to the Power-to-X value chain. Hadi, can you share with us some of these ideas, and how do you think Lebanon can or will benefit from this activity?
Yes, sure. So the Green Hydrogen Hackathon is very important for us for many reasons, but the most important one is to introduce this concept and this technology and this science to the students, engineering students, and the professionals in the country, in order to be able to enhance and implement these kind of projects later on in the country. Because our main target is always to diversify our electricity sources and energy mix, and green hydrogen is one of the most important ways recently. So to be in line with this path, we wanted to introduce this concept to engineering students through the Green Hydrogen Hackathon that was organized in coordination and collaboration with MedJam. And the hackathon was about providing these students a topic related to green valleys and waiting for them to provide us with projects or solutions that can be implemented and concrete projects that can be
that can materialize.
Exactly. So these students were they went through an introductory phase, let's say. They benefited from some lectures before attending the hackathon. And then during the hackathon day, they were able to challenge themselves, and several teams were challenging each other. And we were able to select one winner, where the idea of the winner was to implement a green hydrogen valley in a specific area of Lebanon, in the Bekaa area. Its purpose was to decarbonize specific industries in this area and use the hydrogen for heat generation and heat processes for these industries. So the students presented their projects and were discussing it in front of a jury of professionals in Lebanon. And after selecting the winner, they were able to visit the Friedrich Alexander University in Nuremberg, Germany, to learn and benefit from existing labs where they were exposed to PEM fuel cells and the different types of green hydrogen production, as well as the liquid organic hydrogen carrier, which is a very important technology for transporting and storing hydrogen. So all these, let's say, activity from the lectures to the hackathon day to the field visit was very important for the students, for the winners, and after all, for on a national scale, where we can now build on it to develop a concept note for concept note of the winning team, of their idea, the winning idea, to transform it to a concrete project or a pilot action that can be implemented and executed in the country. This will be our next, let's say, priority with MedJam to reach finally in Lebanon, and hopefully something critical, something, concrete in this technology.
Thank you, Hadi. It's always good to hear that we are able to get something good and concrete out of these activities. And this would be great if Lebanon could get its first green hydrogen pilot project to be implemented in Lebanon. It was a pleasure having you and Reem with us today. Thank you, Hadi. Thank you, Reem.
Thank you.